no. I'm perfectly, like, I'm in color. Like, I am not gray. You know, I mean, oh shit. I am turning gray. I'm getting old. Ah! The Gray Man is directed by the Russo Brothers, co-written by one of the Russos along with Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. This team has written and directed multiple Marvel movies, I think about 4 of them, the last 2 Avengers movies and the last 2 Captain America movies. This is a movie that is out on Netflix now and it stars Ryan Gosling, Billy Bob Thornton, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. When the CIA's most skilled mercenary known as Court Gentry, aka Sierra 6, accidentally uncovers dark agency secrets, he becomes a primary target and is hunted around the world by psychotic former colleague Lloyd Hansen and international assassins. The Gray Man is billed as the next Bond or Mission Impossible or John Wick or Bourne or whatever action franchise you could think of, insert name here, for Netflix. And I will say it definitely has the potential to be that. It's not amazing or anything, but for once in their goddamn lives, Netflix actually made a decent enough action movie. I can't believe that they've accomplished this feat. It's amazing. What I liked about The Gray Man is the action. I will have some gripes with the action later on, so I guess that kind of feeds into negatives as well, but not the action itself. It's more of the tone of the action later on in the movie. The action itself, pretty freaking sweet. You got all the lead actors in frame doing their own stunts, no camera shaking, long takes, long sweeping takes as well. It gets brutal, it gets dirty, it gets a little damp and cold, and it's just kind of like, yep, that's a little gritty. And then later on in the movie, where this is kind of where the tones kind of conflict, it just becomes a run-of-the-mill action movie where it becomes a bit more lighthearted action and like popcorn-esque action, you know, where you can just stuff your face with popcorn. But no matter what, though, I mean, at least in the second half, I was having a damn fun time with the action sequences. In the first half, despite having that more gritty, realistic, dark feel to the action sequences, the actors delivered, the camera work delivered, the cinematography was great, the stunt work was by far one of the best parts of this movie. I just wanted the action in the first half to be more like the action in the second half. You know, where bullets are being sprayed and cars are smashing into things, and there's literally this one action scene that literally I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. It's literally Ryan Gosling running on a train, using a riot shield as a shield, dodging bullets, him just coming out of corners from the train and killing all these assassins, and these assassins just opening back doors to cars, and there's machine gun turrets and they're shooting at him. That's the ridiculousness I wanted from the first half, but the first half still delivered with the gritty action and the stunt work. I wanted to be a little bit more entertained in the first half in that regard, because the first half of the movie really feels like it's this like depressing spy thriller. I don't know, it almost feels like it's one of those Cold War thrillers where it's just, okay, like we're seeing like torture, you know, there are scenes where people are getting tortured, and I remember sitting there watching this movie thinking to myself, that's not what I envisioned when I wanted to watch an action movie starring Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, and Ana de Armas. And I guess the second half of the movie, I was like, this is more of what I needed. The action in the second half does get a bit backloaded. I'll come back around to that in a minute when I get into my negatives. But also in the positives, though, Ryan Gosling proves himself to be an action star. You don't really picture Ryan Gosling in a movie like this. At least I don't. I don't imagine him being an action movie star, but he really pulls it off. I don't know if he used a stunt double, because at the time where his character is doing the stunts, it looked like Ryan Gosling. I mean, unless if they have like an identical Ryan Gosling stunt double, then yeah, then Ryan Gosling's doing his own stunts, and man, he proved that he can handle an action movie. These are the types of movies I like it when I like Ryan Gosling making. Like when he's making a movie like this, or First Man, or The Nice Guys, Drive, or Blade Runner, that's when I really like Ryan Gosling. When he's making those really sappy chick flicks like The Notebook, yeah, I hate the guy. Ana de Armas in another action movie. Okay, moment of silence for Wifey, because whew, beauty. But seriously, if her role as Paloma in the last James Bond movie wasn't an audition for this movie, then this movie has to be an audition for her to get her own action movie franchise. And in both No Time to Die and this movie, she proves that she can be a capable action star. Just throw her in every action movie from here on out for the end of time. If they're gonna do that all-female Expendables movie, put her in that. She's perfect for it. Ana de Armas kicks ass, and she could kick my ass 6 ways to Sunday. I wouldn't mind one bit. Chris Evans, I don't know the direction that they were going for with Chris Evans' character. He plays a villain. Chris Evans in this movie is just a mustache-twirling villain. It's funny because he has a mustache, but he doesn't twirl it. But he's one of those mustache-twirling villains, you know what I mean? I don't know. The performance, I liked the performance, but I don't know if that was a Chris Evans choice or if that was the Russo Brothers choice. Whatever it may be, the direction of the performance didn't fit with the tone of the movie, you know what I mean? Because even with the ridiculous action and the fun action that we get in the second half of the movie, it still feels like it's grounded in reality enough, you know, where you can still buy that shit like that would happen. But Chris Evans throughout the whole movie, this man is just hamming it up. Okay, take his eat shit character from Knives Out, stretch that into an entire movie with more insults and more hilarity to ensue, and that's Chris Evans in this movie. He just hams it up, man. You know he's having a good time playing a villain because he doesn't get to do it all that much, so he's just like, yeah, might as well. Like, Jesus, like, I get to be a villain? Hell yeah. But seriously, the man was like a 90s action movie villain. Like, the way he's just saying his lines, some of the dialogue they give him, like, it's hilarious. But it just doesn't fit in with the rest of the movie. I liked Chris Evans as the villain. I thought it was funny, but there's no consistency with the villain and his plan with the tone of the rest of the movie. Chris Evans hamming it up is hilarious because it did remind me of Knives Out, but it didn't work for this movie. I couldn't take him as a villain seriously all that much. In terms of more negatives, the second half I said was probably the most entertained I was watching this movie, but the action does get backloaded in the second half of the movie where it's like, okay, we're going from action scene to action scene to action scene. It's like, whoa, slow down. Slow the pace down a little bit. It is a breakneck pace in the second half of the movie. The first half, I was like, okay, this is like smaller, scaled action scenes with enough dialogue and plot to keep the movie going. The second half, I'm just like, okay, whoa, we're just going, this is like Quantum of Solace, where we're just going from action scene to action scene to action scene with no real transition to those action scenes, no build up to those action scenes. It's just like, we gotta pad the runtime here. This thing's gotta be over 2 hours, right? So, action scene, action scene, action scene. I'm like, slow down, because the action scenes in this movie, in the second half, because they're so backloaded, get in the way of the story, and the story just becomes this really, like, just interesting thing. It's like the story lost itself. It wasn't even hard to follow. Like, finally, we had an action movie where the plot wasn't super convoluted, but the story just lost itself in the second half because it was so focused on delivering that balls to the wall action where the movie forgot that it had a plot. Like, I was having fun watching those action scenes, but at the same time, I kept thinking in my head, okay, this is fun, but I'd like a plot, please. And also, what is up with some of the cinematography in these action movies lately? Like, Ambulance did the same thing that I'm about to mention. This movie doesn't. For the longest time in this movie, I was like, okay, there's a few of these shots, but it feels like a drop in the bucket compared to Ambulance. I don't know now. Now, both of these movies, I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing with drone shots? Drone shots gonna become like the new Hollywood trend? Like, is every action movie for the next 10 years just gonna have these swooping drone shots where it's like, Jesus Christ, like, goddamn, you're giving me a headache. Like, I have a friend who watched Ambulance the other day. He's like, I can't take the drone shots. Like, they're giving me vertigo. Like, yeah, the drone shots in this movie where it's just swooping in, trying to get you right into the action. They put drone shots in this movie where they don't have to be. I'm like, what is the obsession with drone shots? Is this a way to save money? Actually, no. Is that a way to spend more money? I have no idea. Were they like, I don't know, the budget hasn't been used up. Let's just buy some drones, put a camera on a drone, and fly it through the air. I don't fucking know. Yeah, the drone shots. Oh, man. That was nausea-inducing after a while. And the screenplay, yeah, I like Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely as screenwriters. They've written some of my favorite Marvel movies, but their solo stuff, like, that's not attached to franchise work, is very mediocre. But at the same time, this is co-written by one of the Russo brothers. And maybe him bringing his flavor to the script is why the script feels so cliched in so many parts. Like, if you watch this movie, it's been dubbed before. You've seen so much of this in so many other spy thrillers, so many other spy movies, so many other action movies in general. It's just like, yeah, there's nothing new here, to the point where it does feel a bit stale and generic. And the action sequences themselves is like, yeah, I mean, John Wick did it better. Mission Impossible did it better. Bond did it better. You know, everything just feels a bit serviceable, even if it is entertaining. Like, I wasn't bored watching the movie. I'm not gonna lie when I say I was entertained. Like, a Netflix movie actually entertained me. And yeah, if I'm like, I'm just bored one day and I'm like, I want to watch like a newer action movie that's not a franchise movie, I'll definitely go to The Gray Man. But seriously, there are some things that feel out of place. Its tone is a bit inconsistent. The tone of the action is even inconsistent at times, but it delivers enough entertainment and enough filmmaking value to be watchable. Like, great stunt work, great action cinematography, some really fun action sequences that are in camera, but man, those drone shots. So I can't take it anymore. I will say I enjoyed The Gray Man with just 3/4 worth of a bucket of popcorn. It wasn't one of those Netflix movies where I wanted to walk out of my own house or anything, like choose or die. I mean, it was tolerable and entertaining enough where I'm like, if I ever wanted to watch it again, I could. So kudos to Netflix. Maybe they're actually getting back on my side here. I have no idea. If that happens, that'll be like the biggest Grand Slam miracle in the history of film criticism on this channel. So have you seen The Gray Man? What did you guys think of The Gray Man? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below as to what your thoughts on the movie are. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. All of my social media links, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Obviously, you're on YouTube right now. Instagram, Letterboxd. All of it's there for you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.